So we have Bitcoin sitting at $22,000 right now. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you guys that this is a very important market. This week, you need to be keeping your eyes on the market because something massive is going to happen. Either we're going to get extremely bullish push or we're going to get a bearish push. And I have two different major scenarios. Today, I'm going to be giving you the macro scale, higher view of Bitcoin. We're going to focus on the DXY as well, as that's a very important chart to be focusing on. It is on support right now. It is showing that volatility is entering the markets. We have dominance at a very critical stage too, and we have a lot happening within the altcoins, but it all comes down to Bitcoin. So, you know what? Let's not even waste time. Let's get straight into it. So what happened over the weekend is we did get Bitcoin start to retrace. We did start to get a little bit of a pullback and a little bit of loss of momentum. And all we're talking about is from the previous wave that we had where we pushed through to the $24,300 level. We're now just having a short-term correction to that at the moment. So is this the time where we had the breakout last week? We had the two major peaks that we finally smashed through, and we could see we started to get volume. We started to get the altcoins start to rally. And now is it like, is this a fake out? What are the signs we're looking at? And is this a simple retest? Is this a buying opportunity? And I think we're going to have nice little clues to help you with that. So what I'm seeing here currently with Bitcoin is we are sitting on this support zone over here. We are currently right now, the previous high that we made where we kept faking out, which is close to the $22,000 zone. That was the critical zone that we had to break through. Now what it means is it's a critical zone we have to hold. And we know there's tons of news coming out this week. And there's two different scenarios, right? Everyone's thinking bearish and these sort of things, and possibly it could be. But let's use the basics of TA to give us those early warning signs on what we're looking for. So we have right now broken out and we have retested. We are still on the 4 hour. We are making lower lows right now and lower highs. And I think that already gives us the first little nugget of what we should be looking at is at any point this week is we know we did make a breakthrough. We do have some sort of bullishness, but we are starting to now lose a little bit of steam. And I think right now, the best way to sort of chart the way on Bitcoin, especially for the week and to look out for, right now, 22,000 and a bounce here is bullish. If we literally push this way through and we have this little retracement and we hold 22,000, it is bullish. And you should be looking at, wow, like if it is bullish and we start to break out, like what am I getting into and where can we go from here? Because the way I see it is where now we have another resistance line in play. And this is my line. Remember, what is a resistance? What is this trend line here for? It is here to identify when we are finally starting to change some sort of trend. Right now, lower highs, lower lows. And as soon as we crack this, it's going to give us an indication that Bitcoin's possibly going for the first higher high on the short time frame again. And if that, ideally, the way I use these lines is quite simple, is I'm tracking the momentum. I know that nothing goes in a straight line, okay? But I just want to make sure that when the market is trending, that whatever way we are moving, that the one leg is bigger, shorter, bigger, shorter, bigger, shorter. And whichever direction we are going, up or down, I just want to identify the longer legs and the shorter legs. And that's where trend lines play the massive role. Is because they identify and they show you when a market is either making higher highs and higher lows. That's how you get a trend line up. And the same with the lower lows and lower highs. That's how you get the trend line going down. So for me, it's here to say like, wow, okay, we're at 22K now. I want to hold it. Am I aping interest yet? No. Why? Because we are still not confirming that we are out of this lower low trend on the 4 hour chart. And the stochastics are getting to the bottom. The 4 hour, the 8 hour, they are slowly making their way down. So what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for the crack of this trend over here. Then I'm interested. Because if this was a wave and this is the short wave, the next wave looks great. We've been waiting to see, do we get to a $28,000 Bitcoin? Because as I can see here, where we stopped on this last rally up, makes no sense on any major sort of resistances. The major resistances start for me around 25,500 all the way to the region of 28 and even possibly 29 to the 30K zone. That's where the major resistances are. That's where I see heavy selling pressure. For now, we're in the middle of nowhere. So for me to say that that bull leg is over just yet doesn't make any sense because we didn't really have a major area of stopping. The only thing that would stop this is a stock market fall or, the DXY pumping. These sort of things happening will maybe slow that momentum, and I'll get into those charts shortly. So what I'm looking at now is I don't care what the news is. I don't care that I'm sticking straight back into my TA again. And for me, the break of this trend line here will say, okay, well, looks like Bitcoin wants to go again. And if that was the little retracement to this wave, we should get a really strong impulse again. Ideally, this is an impulse wave. This is a correction wave, and we're looking for the next impulse. I'm not jumping just yet, but as I see the break of this trend line, then I'm definitely excited to be entering back in on longs, structuring my stop losses back in this area over here and giving us a move. But when it comes to higher time frames, I didn't see us stop in an area that caused, like, that really gave me a warning sign just yet. I really don't. I think the warning signs are higher, the higher 20,000s. I really think that's the warning signs. So for now, I'm not jumping too fast. I am protecting myself. I don't want to see Bitcoin really go much lower than the 21,000. I don't really want to go much lower than this. Then after that, if it does, and it does make a little leg up, I'll possibly reducing my risk, start getting a little bit out of the market again, because maybe we come down to lower points. But for now, I'm focused very clearly on this line and what we look at. Now, what are the two different catalysts that can help us with this to give us the indication of where we're going? That's the stock market, definitely the stock market. Now, if we look at the stock market, it's starting to do pretty well. It did break a downtrend. It did break a trend where we were sitting from the 21st of April all the way down to July. You're looking at a 3-month trend. And the stock market finally did break that. And you remember what I was saying about all that it indicates is the higher lows. That's what the trend line does for us. You could see how we're making lower highs, lower lows. And for the first time, we are now on a 12-hour. We are making a higher high, which is fantastic. There's a low, higher low as well that happened before that. So for now, there is resistance up here around 32.8. But for now, it's showing that, wow, like if we break the previous wick of 2-3 days ago, the stock market should move up. And it should move up a nice 2-3%. And that will obviously be a great foundation for Bitcoin and the crypto market too. As we know that the crypto market is a lot more exaggerated, but it does follow the stock market, definitely. Now, the next one that I want to look at, which is super important, is the Dixie. Very important chart. Look where we're at, guys. We've had a rampage. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. We've had a rampage of the dollar. Dollar strengthening, really moving to the strong upward side. And I actually love it when we have, this looks like a shit coin, if I must be honest. It looks like Shibu in the bull run. Like it really, really does. Just boom, all of a sudden just rocketing to the upward side. And I actually love it when a chart does do this, because it's very clear. If it's going to keep this momentum, it's going to keep it. If anything goes crazy like this, it's going to keep moving. And as soon as it shows that little bit of weakness and starts to lose a little bit of that momentum, is where I always, we know where I take my shorts and where I do these sort of things. It's always where I capitalize, because you usually get a really strong reaction to that when you stop the momentum. If it's going to keep going, it's going to keep going. And right now, the DIX is at the point where it can either bounce here and keep going, where we can literally have, remember what I spoke about Bitcoin? That was the leg up, leg down. This looks like an impulse, in my opinion. Okay, this line will tell it for us. In the next 2-3 days, we got news coming this week. If we bounce here and we break our first higher high, this point over here, we have a strong Dixie again, a weaker market. We really do. As much as we want to say it's good for the markets and these sort of things, you hear all different opinions. When that Dixie is going up, the market's shit. You know, very simple like that. So for me, I'm keeping a close eye there. But what I'm really keeping a close eye on is if we close a 12-hour or daily outside of this trend line over here, we can be looking at the Dixie finally retracing a little bit from the previous move. Now, the first zones that I have is I have the Dixie coming back to 104. Not massive, but you're looking at a 1-2% in the Dixie. What does that mean in my head on Bitcoin? Maybe a 25K Bitcoin. Not a crazy move, but maybe up there. We do have resistance at 25,500, okay? But that still means that we're still looking at a 10-15% gain on Bitcoin, but we know the altcoins still have a lot more catch-up. I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. Then looking at, okay, but what happens if we drop those supports? Because this is a long leg up. Are we not going to retrace this leg at some point? If we drop that support, we can be looking at the Dixie coming back down to the 99 to the 98 zone. Now that is a 7-8% down in Dixie. That for me makes sense. Wow, okay, Bitcoin 27, 28K possibly. We will find out then what we're going to do. But for now, you can't sleep on this. Because if the move comes now, you have to act on it. And we've got to ignore the past and we've got to work with what we got now. You can make back a lot through these times by making a lot more smarter decisions than what you did. Remember, if you've been through the last bull cycle or two, you have to change and tweak something from the last two legs in order to have a different result. So whatever you did last time, tweak it a bit and do something a little bit different. Still structure it and work with that. So this is an important chart to work out. Put an alarm here, guys, because I think it will be really important if we break this. I think we're going to get a nice bullishness in the market. They got interest hikes. They got all these things happening. Everyone says it's bearish, bearish, bearish. What I've noticed is when these things happen, we have a quick wick or quick dump or something like that, and then it continues. Like, are people really surprised on what's happening? Keep an eye, because things can turn bullish very quickly. The last one that I want to show you guys, very important, is I have the two different scenarios of the total market cap. Now, we spoke about the total market cap and Bitcoin and all these sort of sections where we broke through. It did hit a little bit of this wick resistance. This is the total market cap of the whole crypto industry right now. And the way I see it is we've got a really bullish scenario and we've got a really bearish scenario. And that's perfect because it's going to give you guys the guideline. That Dixie is a really important chart. But here, when it comes to chart-wise, we completely smashed through. We didn't really bounce or get rejected at any major resistances. And Bitcoin didn't, neither did Ethereum, neither did any of them. They're not at the major resistances just yet. So what I'm looking at here is if we come and we bounce anywhere where we are here at the zone, and you put this top trend line, as I always do, because right now, simple, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. I want to see that indication for the first higher high, higher lows sort of area. Now, if we bounce here and we shoot up to the next levels, it's going to agree with us on getting Bitcoin to the higher levels, getting the crypto market back up to 1.2 trillion, adding another $200 billion into the crypto market. May not send it to all-time highs, but definitely get us back to some interesting levels where we can start making bigger decisions. Then we have the scenario where we drop it. This is if the Dixie bounces. This is if Bitcoin starts to lose 21,000, starts to lose those levels. We will come back in. And what will happen is it will come back in. It will completely lose it. It will then come up and test that as resistance. And then we're going back down to the lower ranges. So it's an important week, guys. Important week to focus on your portfolio and to be ready for any massive opportunities that do come. Because as you can see, either way, the move is very big and very important. So guys, this is the charts that I want to give you guys for the week. These are the big ones. Before you start trading, before you do start any of the smaller time frames, always go through on a Monday or something. By the way, smash the like and smash the subscribe button if you are enjoying this content and you like the shorter videos as well. On Mondays, I actually want to do higher time frames, and then we can DJ and stuff in the week and do the shorter time frames. But this is a lesson for you guys. This is a lesson to say, before I start anything, let me look at my major indicators. Once I've looked at that, then I can have an idea of, oh, am I longing? Am I shorting? Am I getting in and out of the markets? It will even tell you times when not to absolutely trade. Don't trade when the news is about to happen. Very important. You're going to get stopped out. It goes a bit crazy. Wait. Have your two major lines there. Have your two major indicators. When something happens, then you act on it. Now, remember, guys, this channel is for educational purposes only. I will be giving trades on many different shows. I'm going to get back to my old audience too. I feel like I came to the very short-term traders, but I want to come back to the old guys too. And I want to be with everyone. The guys that are looking at higher time frames, to medium, to short time frame, I want to accommodate for all of you. So by smashing that like and commenting below will help me navigate if you're enjoying this very much. And remember, guys, if you do have done your own research, you do agree with us and you want to agree with the trades we're doing and these sort of things, look to open up on your accounts. Look to use our links below to open up your exchange accounts. It costs you nothing. It does a lot for the channel. It does also qualify you for any sign-up bonuses. Deposit bonuses. You can see with BYBIT, we can get up to $4,200 on your trading accounts. You can get up to $8,000 on BitGet with 15% discount. We have CoinPanel, fantastic. It gets updated on the large time frames every single Monday, so you'll get tons of the charts that are happening there. The traders are doing very well on CoinPanel. They're learning how to trade firstly, and they're getting fantastic calls. They're managing the risk. That's a really, really great way for you guys to use. So we appreciate you guys using that very much. So guys, let me know if you like it. I'm going to bring Sniper's back, baby. And he's here to bring you a whole nother version of him because he's grown a lot. He's been through a lot. I got so many ideas and I finally structured my life now. Like I got a whole team and family that are helping Sheldon like structure. And like, Sheldon, you got great ideas, but you're a mess, brother. You're up and down. And I think you guys have seen that too. I'm going to pull it back now. I'm going to get the people that I need. I got rid of the distractions and the people that distract me in life. I got the good people with me now. And now it's time to bring a whole new version. See my baby's crying. It's time for me to go. Love you lots, Banter fam. Snap.